That's the other thing about the outdoors, man. You want to talk about another commonality is just developing who you are.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, I mean, there's nothing like, in my opinion, there's nothing like the mountains to really put you in check.
Real quick, I would like to give a shout out to a company that is near and dear to my heart. It is Switching Camo. Our nation's veterans are at the forefront of my mind all the time, especially since I was a veteran. But nothing that we do in this country would be possible if it wasn't for our veterans. So, with this company, what they do is they go out and they take a veteran with them on a hunt or on a fishing trip or a rafting trip or whatever, and basically get their mind off of whatever stresses might be going on in their mind. And it's all like-minded individuals that if they want to talk, they can talk. If not, and they just want camaraderie, they can have camaraderie. It's a good group of people, and I absolutely applaud this program. I've personally taken some veterans out on some hunts, and there's a lot of good that comes from it. So see what you can do about supporting Switching Camo in whichever way. Give them a like, give them a follow, and buy a hat from them or try and support a veteran in some way through them. It's amazing the things that they do and the giveaways that they give for veterans and for notoriety and stuff for the veterans. So definitely give these guys a like and a follow. You can find them at switchingcamo.com or Switching Camo on both Instagram, Facebook.
I've got Jonathan from Kong Valley Collective, and I would like to ask, well, first off, let's just say thank you very much for serving in the United States military. I can really appreciate that.
Yeah, likewise, man.
Yeah,
Thanks for having me on your show.
yeah, absolutely. So, what did you what branch did you serve in? I don't know if I ever really saw what branch you served in. I just saw veteran, I guess.
Yeah, I was in the Marine Corps. I was
Oh,
in the Marine.
awesome, man. Jarhead.
Yeah. Army for you, I'm guessing.
No. I was in the chair force.
Mm.
Yeah, man. I had one of those super cushy office jobs that everybody in the military thinks of the Air Force.
Everybody does their part, bud. That's the way I see it.
I really didn't have a office job, but that's what everybody thinks of the Air Force. Everybody thinks the Air Force is pilots and you know.
I was just gonna say I thought your penmanship's probably remarkable.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. I can type like no other. So if you could give a little background, where did Kong Valley start?
Yeah, man. So Kong Valley, keep in mind, this changes month to month, right? Because it's an evolving beast, if you will. But to get back to its roots, it just started 2 years ago now when I started paying more attention to the decline of hunting and about how, in my opinion, as like a community, we sit on our hands and just let it happen. And in my opinion, every voice matters. So I just started trying to originally think, like, how can I get my voice in this or share my perspective non-confrontationally? You know what I mean?
Right.
So I started thinking for like, oh, I'm gonna record my elk hunt. But the problem with that is everybody does that. And
And
I
it's
think
super freaking hard.
yeah, I mean it's hard, but I mean, what that's worth it isn't. You know what I mean? What
Say,
that worth
say that again.
I said so what's like what that is worth it isn't, you know?
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. So but the unique thing is the biggest thing. And to me, the more variables we have of showing different things going on and through different perspectives in the woods, the more chance we have to relate with opposition, the more feelings we have to share with hikers, the more feelings we have to share with fishers and fishermen and women, you know, like just the way I saw it is if you could look at a map and 50 different people could tell their version of hunting, that's 50 different regions. They hear different takes versus one spread out through 13 Western or two on the East Coast type thing, you know?
Right. Well, actually, what you had just mentioned, when we were chatting back and forth and stuff like that, that was something that really, really resonated with me. Was your, and I didn't know it at the time, but your concept of bridging the gap, um, and that was a term that I thought me and REI had coined, but obviously it's definitely not original because you had come up with it, and I found so many more people that have used that term now as just kind of a coin flip or whatever. But it is so important, and I think the message that you're coming across with is outstanding because so many people don't understand what hunting is. Even my wife, like I was explaining to her, why I hunt. She was like, "Well, you just like to do it." And I was like, "Yeah, I love to do it, but that's not the only reason why." We were driving from Trout Creek, Montana to Missoula, Montana, and probably half of that drive, which is like a 2-hour drive, and I'm like rattling off at the mouth, like, no, this is why you've got the conservational aspect. People don't understand this, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, and I tried to tie it all in with what everybody gets out of the outdoors. And just hunting is a part of it. You know what I mean? We have so much in common that people just don't see it because they don't want to look past the fact that we're killing something, in a lot of cases. And I've had a lot of anti-hunters actually just did a bee removal, because I remove honeybees from people's houses and stuff, but did a bee removal for a vegan. And of course I pull up, and on my truck I've got Mystery Ranch, I've got Go Hunt, I've got these different stickers and stuff like that all over my truck, and Montana tags. And they're like, "You're a hunter, aren't you?" And I'm like, "Yes, I am." And like right off bat, I was like, "I'm assuming you're a vegan." Just based on, well, one, they look unhealthily skinny, but two, it just, you can kind of almost tell, like, by somebody's structure and like their body structure and everything like that, the stereotypical vegan look, you know what I mean, where almost looks unhealthy. But
Yeah.
and we just had a really candid conversation, and I absolutely applaud that lady for even listening to me about hunting and entertaining the idea of why I hunt and stuff like that. But actually, she was allergic to meat, and that's why she didn't eat meat. What was it? That allergic to certain proteins or something. I don't remember exactly, but she was saying that she's actually allergic to eating certain types of protein or something like that. But
Right.
So she was a vegan not by choice, but it just kind of grew um, into her lifestyle. But she followed that, kind of anti-hunter sort of mentality, and you know, the just through, like you said on your website, bridging the gap and getting the word out there and saying, hey, look, no, this we're hunting not just to go out and kill stuff. you know we're hunting to enjoy nature and for the conservational aspect, and which whole nother topic. But we're doing it for so many other different things than just to go out and kill something. Going out and killing something, at least to me, is um one of the things down the list for why I'm actually out there.
I think it's just a byproduct of an experience, if you will. It's the result of luck. It's the result of hard work. It's the result of grind, grit, whatever you want to call it.
Oh, absolutely.
I think to me personally, the killing part, I guess, is 100% just a byproduct of an experience. 100% it is, but not to take away from that there is death, right? I think it's important to acknowledge that something dies to feed my family, something
Right.
dies to fill my primal need, but it's not done in vain, and it's not done out of anger or hatred or dominance or nothing. It's done because that's what we do. That's what we're designed to do. You know what I mean? It's just part of
Right.
the process. And so, I mean, I couldn't agree with you more. The whole bridging the gap concept thing, uh, by no means did I coin it. It's just a thought process, right? Like, so when I look at what I see on social media or the conversations I hear between the bickering and stuff between rifle hunters and bow hunters and fly fishermen and bait casters or salmon fishing and bass fishing or hikers and hunters or hikers and fishers, right? All that I think of it kind of like a resort chain and islands. Like you have an island over here, and then you have an island on the right, and you have an island there, and they're all throwing coconuts back and forth at each other because one is different than the other by 2/10 of a measurement or something.
Right.
So rather than sit there and expend all that energy and negative, I guess, aspect or negative energy in general, I think it's important to like find a way. This is where bridge the gap comes into play for me, but to find a way to meet in the middle, to build that land bridge, open up that access. Like, hey, they got a bar on this one, and they got a 5-star kitchen over here. Let's exchange the services here.
Right.
It's just
Well,
being able to.
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, it's just being able to. I'm not saying compromise, but just understand. You
Well,
got to have the conversation.
yeah, absolutely. Well, it's like you just said, though. I mean, and well, I guess for me, the whole bridging the gap concept, um, we have so much more in common than we do, our dissimilarities. You know what I mean?
Right.
Um, the only difference is, our method of take. Well, and this is just simply with hunting, right? And hunting and fishing, right? The only difference is our method of take, and that's pretty much it. Other than that, we're both in pursuit of the animal, of an animal, whether you're fishing or you're hunting, right?
Right.
We're all sourcing the same type of gear. We're all camping. We're all hiking. We're all. I dare you to say that you're a fisherman and you don't hike. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So
Well, dude, and you just nailed it on the head. Sorry to step on you right there, but
No, you're good.
get back to that concept thing there. Can you hear me okay? I'd step out so that my wife can make a bottle.
Yeah, no, you're good, man.
Um, the big concept there, right, is that all of us have something in common. To be casting a line in the water, boots on the ground, pulling the trigger, shooting arrows, whatever, right? I don't really give a shit, to be honest with you, what it is. But we're all out there on a passion-driven motive. We're out there pursuing a purpose greater than ourselves out of passion. And I think that if there is no commonality between catching a fish and killing an elk, or between summiting, I don't know, St. Helens or whatever, right? Like, if there's no commonality there, the commonality, in my opinion, is in the backbone, and that is passion being that driving fuel.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing that nobody can argue, in my opinion, if they're being honest with themselves. We're all out here for different reasons, but doing the same damn thing, pursuing something greater. And it's driven by a passion. You know what I mean? What started that passion might be different. Too. What's that?
I was gonna say, yeah, I didn't even think about that aspect of it. You know, you're, like you said, you're out there pursuing something. Yeah, I didn't think of the animal aspect of things, but, or I'm sorry, I was thinking the animal aspect of things, but you know, there's the fact that we just we just want to escape and be in the outdoors and stuff like that. And like you said, the passion for being out there is one of the things that is just absolutely common across all everybody that goes in the outdoors, whether you're riding a bike or, you know, fly fishing. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and the crazy thing about it is, right, like, keep in mind, man, I'm not saying I'm not guilty of my train of thought being fucked.
Oh yeah.
For all intents and purposes. But it's a correction that has come to me specifically within this last year, man. And that means constantly opening myself up and being like, hey, Jonathan, quit being a dick. Let that guy do what he wants to do without interjecting judgment. Now, where I guess the Marine part of me is, and you know, you'll understand this because you're a military veteran yourself, just military humor in general is, we're like, we call a weak bitch when we see it. I mean, there's just not.
Well, everybody calls the Air Force a weak bitch.
Well, I'm not saying that, but you know what I mean? Like, just in general, like, if we don't like something, we say it. Like, what are you going to do? We'll say something to you and your 10 friends.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, to me, it's like I won't ever lose that mentality. I love that about me. I love having a little bit of frass, you know, and being a little bit smart ass and funny. But is there a way that I can maybe be a little bit more approachable for somebody to ask questions? I'm sure. A little less abrasive and trying to maybe point something out. Yeah. So, I mean, this is a constant, like, hey, quit being a dick and try to be a help. You know what I mean?
That's really hard for me.
Yeah, me too. But I'm growing, right? I mean, everybody is. I mean, that's the other thing about the outdoors, man. You want to talk about another commonality is just developing who you are.
Oh yeah.
You know? I mean, there's nothing like, in my opinion, there's nothing like the mountains to really put you in check. Nothing like.
I was about to say that will humble the shit out of you. You are on par with everybody else when you're out there. Some people can climb them a little bit faster than others, but for the most part, they're still going to kick your ass.
Absolutely. I mean, and that's like the thing I want to encourage your guests is, or whoever your audience, sorry, there's something to take away around everything. It could be 2 steps in, or it could be top of the mountain, it could be the bottom of the drainage, or whatever you're in, there is something there that can define you. There can be a moment anywhere in that process that shapes the rest of your season even, you
And
know?
well, it's something else. Just I kind of want to bring it up, and it's something that I've been working with myself on is the East versus West mentality.
Oh, Jesus. I'm
Yeah.
glad you brought that up. Let's dive into it.
So yeah, dude. So growing up in Montana, I always had this like, well, first off, let me say, like, at first growing up, I was like, nobody in the East hunts. Like I don't know why I kind of had that block about me, but I was like, yeah, they don't hunt. And then getting older and stuff like that, I'm like, well, they absolutely hunt. It's just they sit still all the time, and it fucking sucks. So I had this like negative mentality about hunting in the East, and then I started hunting out here, and I'm like, yep, it's everything I thought. It sucks to sit still. You know, in the West, you're constantly moving, you're constantly, working the wind and all that, which honestly, I think it's easier to hunt out West than it is to hunt in the East. You expend more physical energy out West, but you can make things happen. You, if you make a mistake or something like that, you can always work the wind and all that kind of stuff and get around the animal. But in the East, if you blow it, you blow it. That's it. There's no two ways about it, and you can't. It's so loud and so thick that, I mean, that's it. I mean, your hunt is done until later. Um, at least in the West, you can make things happen, and that's one of the appreciations that I've started to have in the East is, you know, those guys are so fucking careful, you know, and they play the wind. They pay more attention to the wind probably than I ever did hunting in the West, because you just have so much more leniency in the West. It seems like, and I'm not trying to downgrade the West at all. I'm just trying to, you know, celebrate some of the differences. But hey, I don't know. What are your thoughts on it?
Um, I think that it's tomato. I think it's just a stylist difference, in my opinion. I'm not saying I'm right or wrong. I used to think that East Coast maybe hunters were, I wouldn't say non-existent, but afraid to walk. But
Yeah,
I've grown
I thought
past
they were
that.
just lazy.
I didn't. I never thought that. I mean, it's just different time, So for me, I don't know. That's an interesting perspective. They do play the wind, but I mean, everything I do in the woods now is based around wind. So I can't. I mean, and sometimes it doesn't matter if you have to sit in one spot or if you have to figure out a 3-mile roundabout to get to where you're trying to go to get the wind right. I mean, there's difficulties in both, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't hunted in a tree stand out east. So I mean,
Well,
I don't
like,
know if you watch my fall bear hunt. I was having a heyday picking on some of my East Coast friends because I was sitting in a tree stand hunting bears. But I was it's not for me, man. I like to look over the vast landscape and be like, I want to go meet that animal on its terms where it's at. That's me personally.
yeah,
Doesn't make me any more elite. Just that's my preferred method,
well, I'm ADD, so just sitting there gets really boring to me.
Right. Keep in mind, though, I am a tower crane operator for my day job, so I sit,
I don't know if I could do that.
150, 200 foot up on any given day for 8 to 17 hours is like, whoa, that's just what I do. So, like the tree stand, I mean, is As long as I got like a dark energy thing or whatever to plug my phone in and tinker around and edit photos or do whatever. I mean, I don't know. It wasn't anything overly complicated to me. I could see like the setup stuff and shooting lanes and shit like that and stuff being a little different, but I don't
Well,
know. It just doesn't get my wheels turning just for me, you know?
it's definitely not my favorite style of hunting, but well, the reason I say that they seem to be so much more careful about the wind is because so their stand is in one location and that doesn't move. So based on the way the wind is, and all that kind of stuff in a certain area during certain times of year, and is this drainage pulling, all the is there water that's going to be affecting the thermals and all that. They play all of that stuff, and that's where their stand goes for the entire year.
Right.
So it's like, yeah, I've got to hand it to them. I mean, I have fucked it up more times than I can count hunting like in South Carolina in a tree stand, because I didn't know what the wind did in certain sections and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, oh, that looks like a good tree. Oh, and it's kind of looking over these shooting lanes and all that kind of stuff, natural shooting lanes and everything. I see some trails through here and stuff. Put up a stand, don't see a damn thing. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. It looks like a freaking deer highway right here. And, I'm looking around and I actually start paying attention to the wind, and I'm like, yep, that's exactly where they would be coming from. So I just blew out the entire area, you know. And so it seems like they are so much more careful about the wind because that's where they're at for the rest of the year. You know what I mean? Whereas us in the West, it's like, we don't have a great wind. We'll walk a couple miles around and we'll work it a different way. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, I don't know. I don't mean to take away from anybody's style. That's where it just, for me, for example, man, I was just over in Eastern Oregon in some canyon country. Let's just say that. And I'm sitting up on this meadowy bluff, if you will. And I'm looking at probably 13, 14 different ridges with different drainages, different systems. And we're sitting there with glass, and I'm just sitting there with my feet kicked up, just taking it all in, right? Glass in, looking for bears. And I think to myself, I could never not answer the question, what's over there? I can never not, like, I got genuinely excited to think, if we drop down this is going to break me off. Like, that got exciting to me. Like, this is going to suck. This is going to be miserable. This is going to take forever. But this is going to be epic because I'm going to go find that animal where it's at. Not to say that you're sitting in a tree stand is not knowing travel routes and stuff, but you're kind of just relying on it to maintain its schedule, right?
Right.
For me personally, I don't think that one's better than the other is what I'm saying. I think it's just 100% preference. I think there's difficulties in each. Sitting in a stand for 12 hours sounds fucking miserable, but dropping 1,000 foot down and climbing 1,000 foot out isn't well, to the sane, that's not enjoyable either. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. I think it's give take. It comes back to kind of what we were talking about. Quit throwing stones. Like, we're our own worst enemy. How do we ever think we're going to beat opposition if we can't even get along with each other? You know?
Oh, absolutely. They we're, like I said, we're all enjoying the same stuff. We're all doing use the same gear. Well, for the most part, I've never used scent lock in Montana or out west, but Um, you know, I, I real quick, what's your thoughts on the scent killers and stuff like that, hunting in the West?
Oh, I mean, I wear Old Spice.
Yeah. I had a buddy, he was like, no, you got to use that dead downwind and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, dude, you will go through that entire bottle trying to keep your scent down. Uh, I
You
was
know, I
like,
went
it's
4 years and I bought probably 6 different varieties from BioShock to Dead Downwind to Scent Killer Gold, whatever, right? And opening morning last year when I killed my bull, I didn't spray myself with shit. I just got out and started hiking, squeezed my whiffer bottle from my wind and my wind indicator bottle and puffed a couple little puffs. So we're going.
yeah,
10 minutes later, we're in a raking and bugling battle, or sorry, raking and chuckling battle with a bull, and 15 minutes later, it's dead. So, scent killer is not something that's on my personal purchase list.
yeah. I remember when I was young, my grandpa, he was like, he always wore Jovan Musk, and that is like I can pick it out now, like just because I mean, that's his scent. You know what I mean? I don't know anybody else that wears that, but if I come across it, I'm like, hey, Papa's around, you know? But he was an outfitter and probably one of the most successful hunters that I know. And that man would put on cologne before he would go out hunting. I'm like, who are you trying to smell good for? But he would go out and he'd kill an elk and stuff like that. And I mean, you could smell him in the woods. I'm like, how are you not blowing everything out? And it just comes down to playing the wind.
Yeah, I mean, I got a buddy, Ray Kozdar. He's Pacific Giants on Instagram. I'm not sure if you follow him, but
Who
he
is that?
used Pacific Giants on Instagram.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Gotcha.
that's my buddy Ray, and he used to smoke, and he'll be the first to tell you, like, I've killed more animals with a cigarette in my mouth than you just got to play the wind, bud. Scent killer. So, I mean, I'm not gonna. If I think the confidence, I think I listened to James Nash say something about this the other day, and it really resonated with me. And I don't personally use it, but I think if it is something that makes an individual feel more confident, I think confidence is a big part of putting it together. So if you feel more confident because you spray yourself with some baking soda powder and water, essentially, then right on, man. I mean, whatever just helps you be more mindful while you're there, whatever gives you that peace of mind.
Yeah, I used to carry a baking soda in a sock, and I would like smack myself with this baking soda and stuff like that. If you ever like patted my shoulder, you'd see like a cloud of baking soda come off when I was young. But that was like my thing. I was like, oh man, I'm not going to see anything because I didn't have that with me. But it kind of goes back to the face paint thing too, right? I've never used face paint,
Yeah.
and I've never used it. I don't, so I can't stand here and say it makes a difference or it doesn't make a difference. I know that I have snuck up on several animals obviously without face paint. I had a bull come in and like face to face with me within 4 feet, and I wasn't wearing face paint. Like he literally burped in my face, and I didn't have face paint, and I could see the how it could help, break up an image and all that kind of stuff. I've just never used it. But some people, it's like, what makes you comfortable? Are you do you feel more confident when you're
out there and you have this face paint on and stuff like that, you know.
I
And
mean, I think for
so
me, I mean, like last year, I killed my bull with face paint. I killed my buck last year without it. Um, I think it's just I've started doing it because it's fun. It kind of starts your hunt out because you look like a clown. You know what I mean? I don't feel like if I put it on, just this savage beast. It's kind of funny. Everybody's kind of chuckling and laughing, like, Jesus, we're waiting on you to put face paint on. Are you freaking kidding me? You know what I mean? Like, let's fucking go. But it just kind of sets that tone. Like, don't forget to have fun. You know, don't lose. I mean, yeah, you're out there to get it done. Don't get me wrong, and that's still what we're there. But it's okay to fail. It's okay to laugh. It's okay to just. You don't have to be super serious all the time. You know, just get out there and do it. I mean, I'll be honest with you, dude. I'm milk chocolate brown. I look like a shadow.
you got
I
Mother
don't.
Nature's night camo.
Yeah, exactly. I don't have a bright spot when I'm sitting there in my camo in a bush or in front of a bush. I'm dark. I already look like a Christmas tree. But I it's fun to cut loose and have fun. And like this year, I'm supporting somebody, Predator War Paint. They're a veteran-owned and operated company, and so I mean, it's cool to wear their shit just to support them. To be honest with you, and it doesn't really play a pivotal role in my kit, but it's
Yeah,
man, it's
see, me on the other
lighthearted.
hand, I'm like Irish white.
Yeah.
Like if I took off my shirt, I'd be like, yeah, you could turn off the lights and still be able to see your way through.
Got the glow in the dark UV, huh?
Oh man, like I am white, which always, I don't know. I don't know. I must have like some sort of look to me or something like that. But I'm half Mexican.
Right.
But um, like shoot, I was at the bank yesterday here in South Carolina, and the lady just started speaking Spanish to me, and I'm like looking around, like, is there someone behind me or what the crap? I'm like, I'm white, lady. I'm like, yeah. I mean, now I speak a little bit of Spanish, so I spoke Spanish back, but I was like, how the hell did she know? I was like, racist. you know, I'm like, just because I look a certain way doesn't mean I am that way. No, but I mean, I was like, what the crap, So, but
Yeah,
yeah,
but
I
you
mean,
know the funny thing is, you think the animals care?
oh, they don't give a
No,
crap.
they don't profile you as a white hunter, a black hunter, a Mexican hunter, Chinese hunter. They don't give a shit. They look at you as a stinky, filthy human that reeks, or
Yep.
or a walking danger tree. You know what I mean? That's what
Yeah.
they see. They,
They see a shape and, oh, that shape means danger. I don't give a crap what color it is.
right, and that's what's funny to me. I don't know. But to get back to your camo thing, I just scent control is the wind, and camo is just some days I wear it, some days I don't. It's strictly just, dude, you got to have fun. Somebody's got to have fun. I mean, otherwise, what the hell are you doing it for, really? You know?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, man. So we like completely got off a tangent, but so you're talking about your background in Kong Valley and really what your mission vision value was for Kong Valley. Um,
Mm.
so what else is there? Like, so you had the bridging the gap thing, and said you started like a couple of years ago. So what else plays a pivotal role in Kong Valley? Like, what are you trying to really get out there?
Um, everybody has a story. I don't care if they have 10,000 followers, 100,000 followers, or 10 followers. Every single person's got some kind of experience, some kind of knowledge, some kind of perspective that is unique. And so with Kong Valley, I'm simply just trying to, it's not even me, man. This is a group of us, right? It's a collective. So what we are trying to do is simply share our passion, share with people honest and integrity based content and narrative, if you will. Like we spoke earlier about our buddy Kevin. Kevin's out there, and I'm not going to give him the word that he likes to call it, but he's a newer hunter, right? I
Mm-hmm.
don't use that other word for that because I think it's horseshit. But
What,
I,
rookie?
no, that whole onset bullshit. I don't, adult onset crap or whatever they call it. Anyway,
I'm not
I
aware of that one. But
yeah, Kevin's a newer hunter. He's out there with his family, sharing his perspective, sharing his grind, picking up trash, doing his thing. That's just as valuable as me walking in the woods in the West, picking up beer cans, sharing, chasing elk. I mean, there's two different ratios or aspects, but both extremely valuable within their own demographic. So what we're trying to do is, what we have done is create a family-like environment amongst, say, my ambassadors, where they all chat and they get to share each other's story, and maybe they're going to plan hunts together, or they pick each other's brains and they share the outdoors through their passion, through their passion for the outdoors, through their eyes, through their perspective. And really what we're doing was just, we're creating a place for people to come and to get away from this is the best or that's the best or whatever. We're just a place where come be who the hell you are. And that's it. No frills, no nothing. Just come and be who you are. Represent the community well, because we want this to be there for our kids and our kids' kids. We don't want to lose this. I want somebody else to be able to experience the freedoms that I have from the outdoors, if you will.
yeah, that's really similar to what the way we think with switching camo, which is a veterans organization that I'm on the board for. Uh, Basically, what we do, we take hunters and anglers out, and veterans out to hunt and fish and just do outdoor excursions and stuff like that, just to kind of get get out of the way of life. You know what I mean?
Best kind of therapy, man. Call it what
Oh,
you will.
absolutely. And that, what you're talking about with the Kong Valley Collective is right on par with the way we think is, just get out there and take somebody out and support this way of life, and support it in the best way that you possibly can, and be the best that you can be.
Yeah.
Don't be a dick.
Well, I mean, it did so, like with the Kong Valley, right? And I say this again, we're people, right? So we are almost 9 months in since our official launch of the collective. We've had people come, we've had people go in and out, and I mean, growth is growth, right? And there's been differences and arguing. I mean, I don't want to sit here and try to portray to you like we're this perfect little triangle. Da, 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 da. We're real people with real world disagreements, with real world different perspectives and real world different agendas. I mean, it's going to happen, and I think it's important to notate that every person that's been a part of this, every person that will be a part of this, everybody that this affects, like, I personally, I'm thankful for all of them, every bit of it, through the growth, through the turmoil. It doesn't matter to me, man. Like, there's something I've gotten out of this from everybody, and there's something I hope to give to everybody through it. You know what I mean? So
What do you think some of the biggest disagreements are based around? Like, what subjects?
Well, I mean, that would be more on a leadership level, right? I mean, the team that we have, our ambassadors, they're all just great people. They kill it. They go out, they pursue their passion, they take cool pictures, they tell their stories through unique ways. And I'm proud of every single one of them, man. 100% I am. And I don't really think there's disagreements there. I mean, disagreements is when you start a collective, I guess, you know, some people think that it should be a brotherhood. And other people think, you know, if you want it to be long lasting, it has to be there has to be a business sense to it, if you will. So for me, the biggest thing is making how do you keep a business so that you're treating it like something you want to be around, and how do you make sorry, my kid's waking up. How do you make it a business, you know, and something that can help, like, I mean, dude, out of pocket, I'm sure you understand, you got a podcast and you got your hands in all sorts of stuff. Like, when you're talking somebody with multiple kids and mortgage and car payments and stuff, like, I don't got 5-10 grand sitting around to dump into something to someday maybe pay me back, you know. So at some point, if you want this to be real and you want to keep providing cutting edge shit, unfortunately, you got to treat it more business minded. And to get back to your disagreements thing with that, you know, sometimes that could come across to certain people like you only see things like money and you don't see the value in friendship anymore, or brotherhood or camaraderie. And I think it's just being able to look outside of yourself in that case. And like from, I don't know, you own a podcast, right? So sometimes you gotta play the bigger person, right, if you will. And like, even though maybe this isn't exactly the direction I wanted to go, I'm not saying compromise who you are, but this is something I temporarily have to do because this will allow me to continue, right? So with that, I mean, people have lots of ideas for partnerships or this or that, and I mean, dude, there can only be one chief, you know, and unfortunately that can cause problems. But for me, you know, I've done the best I can with what I got, and I'm really proud, like I said, of my staff. I'm really thankful for the guys that have stuck through it. I'm really thankful for the people that have chose to partner with Kong Valley. Got some incredible partners, and I think we're doing good, man. And this isn't, I don't really care what, you know, I don't tell my guys you can only use this or don't use that. You know, if I ask them to use it, I'm going to provide it, or at least a hefty discount. So, but I don't want that to be Kong Valley. I want Kong Valley to be like, I use this because this works for me, period. You know what I mean? I wear Kuyu. Some of my guys wear First Light. Some of my guys wear Real Tree. Some of my guys sit in a tree stand. I spot and stock. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So some of my guys are legitimate killers and some of us just pretend to be, you know? So, so I mean, dude, it's just when you build a network of people, man, not everybody's going to like everybody, and that's just how it goes, you know? And I think it's being able to learn to, and this isn't just like a Kong Valley thing. This is just a growth thing I've realized, I guess, over the last 6 months, is you can't make everybody happy, man. You just can't, and life's too short to drown yourself in yesterday's turmoil, you know? Like, you got to just keep going.
That's actually pretty surprising that that you came across with that very business-minded, very business-minded approach to it. I was thinking it would be, you know, one of the biggest controversies and stuff like that would be what gear you guys use, or, you know, that's a huge thing in the hunting industry.
Yeah, but I mean, so with the collective, like, this is bridging the gap, right? Like, I'd be a huge hypocrite to tell my people, don't wear this, because these guys, because what, they give you a discount code, or they gave me some free camo, or they gave, I mean, I don't know, the list could be go on and on. They paid me to say this. Like, that's not real. Not for me, not for my 30 other people across the country. Now, hey, if I'm like, hey, if I provide this for you, will you wear it? And only please use it in content that you direct towards me, sure. But if I'm not providing them with it, I can't tell you, don't wear this. And quite frankly, I don't want to. I want you to wear what you like, what works for you, and do your thing. You know
Yep.
what I mean? That's the biggest part of this, is eliminating that deception of fake, that deceptive, I'm an Instagram hunter. Look at me. The more money I throw in it, that means the better I am at it. Like, oh, come on. Come on. Dude, I could go out in silkies with, you know what I mean? I could go out in PT silkies with my dad bod and a bandana tied around my head, go out in the woods, suffer through mosquito bites, and still kill something. You know what I mean? That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how you do it. Just do what works for you, and tell people why, because maybe there's somebody out there that's looking for that information. Maybe there's somebody out there that just needs that. They're tired of spending all this money on gear. It breaks. They don't ever kill nothing, and now they're like on the fringe of like calling it for a couple of years and maybe coming back to hunting. Well,
Or
maybe I can
fuck,
say,
maybe
hey,
they
check
just don't
these out.
have the money to do
Yeah.
that kind of stuff, and they're like, well, I have to have, all of this gear, and I have to have. You absolutely do not have to have, the best bow, the best rifle, the best camo. Well, not that there's really a best camo, I don't think, but like all of that stuff, yes, it helps. It might make you more accurate. It might make you cooler when you're out there hiking your ass off. It might breathe better. You know, I have several friends that they'll go out, they'll hunt in blue jeans.
Yeah, and they still get it done.
Yeah, and they kill their animal every single year. They notch a tag almost every single year. And could they be more comfortable if they say more wore like First Light or Sitka? Um, you know, absolutely. They probably could. Their nuts might not sweat as much when they're walking through the mountains, but they they get it done, and that's what they're comfortable doing. You don't have to have all the best stuff. Um,
Right.
The biggest thing that kills me too is like broadheads, right? Oh, I've got to have this broadhead because it makes a bigger wound channel. Motherfucker, it is a inch and 3/4 cut. I
Not
mean,
even inch and an eighth, inch and a quarter, inch and
yeah,
16th, a little. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's like it's not gonna make a bigger wound channel than the width of the broadhead. It's not. Physically, it can't happen. I mean, that is what it is. So
Right. I
it
mean,
comes down to your shot.
I would argue that's the most important part of your system, though.
Oh yeah,
That
absolutely. You don't
backshot
want
or
dull
bark
blade.
that kills. Yeah, or you don't want to lose your blades in the meat. And I'm not going to trash brands or say nothing like that, but I would definitely do a little bit of research on, or even just look at how it's constructed when you're looking at it in a package, man. The more parts, the more pieces that can go wrong, in my opinion. I don't like, for me, I used to be like 100% like you could do this all at Walmart. And I'm not saying you can't, but we'll go and spend, James Nash said, you'll spend 50 grand on a truck and 2 grand on a bow and sight. And then you'll go to Walmart and buy broadheads for because they're orange tagged for $7 or something. Like, come
Yeah.
on, man. I mean, that's the most important part of the system. So I think it's really important not to to lose that thought, though. You know what I mean? Like, and when I say this, I'm speaking like, let's put this animal down as efficiently and effectively and as
Oh yeah,
mercifully
I'm
as we
not
can.
I'm not at all saying go out there and buy the cheapest brand that you can get. But what I am
But
saying,
use what works for you. Yeah. That's
yeah,
right.
yeah. I mean, well, I'm probably going to catch some backlash on this. So we we went out um, and we hunted hogs. Right. This was oh, 3-4 years ago, something like that. First time I ever went out hunting hogs, and I think we killed uh, close to 15 hogs on spot and stock bow hunting. It got to the point where we ran out of arrows, we ran out of broadheads. We were using broadheads multiple times, uh, and it was, believe it or not, it was. They were making good cuts, and we didn't. It wasn't a crap ton of like bad shots and all that kind of stuff. It put them down just as efficiently using the broadhead multiple times. Now, if it stuck in the tree or something like that, obviously we didn't use the broadhead anymore. But I think I shot 3 hogs with the same broadhead.
That's
And
crazy.
yeah, and I mean it cut just fine. Now after I inspected it and stuff like that, if I wouldn't have used it if it was dull or had a chip in it or something like that. But just the fact, and I think those were not to say anything about the brand, but
Right.
you know it was just muzzy broadheads,
Right.
that I just picked up. They were cheap, and I was like, "There's a crap ton." My buddy was like, "Dude, just get broadheads. There's a crap ton of these hogs out there. You're gonna run out of arrows." And I'm like, "What kind of hunt are you bringing me on? It's like a gopher shoot, you know?" I'm like, "These hogs were everywhere," and he's like, "You're gonna run out of arrows." He said, "They're like pests out where we're going," and he was absolutely right, man. But the broadheads were they performed just fine, so I think people get too caught up in what gear they have to have, or they think they have to have, because this Instagram hunter or this Facebook model or whatever says, "Oh yeah, this is the best out there, and you have to have this or you're not going to get it done." I mean, you don't. Native Americans use fucking rocks. I mean, you don't have to have the sharpest broadhead out there.
No, I mean, and I think that just comes down to preference or trying to keep up with the Joneses, whatever you want to call it. And I don't pay no attention to that. I mean, because like that's the thing with the Kong Valley thing. Like, I'm not going to tell people shoot this bow, shoot these arrows, shoot this broadhead, shoot this rifle, shoot this bullet. Every one of them has a system. Some of my guys have been hunting. They got 25 years hunting on me. You know what I mean? And you think I'm going to tell them change what works for you, what you've learned because it fits my program? Never. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I think that's part of like what keeps it real. And you're surprised at the business aspect of it. Man, when you start a collective, it's got a lot of potential to change the world and change the people around you. I mean, shit, it changes me. It changes me all the time, and not in a bad way. Just forces me to grow or try to understand things from different perspectives, from different places in the country.
Yeah.
And so when you talk about what kind of rough spots have you had, I mean, you have to sometimes unfortunately business has to preside over buddy shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah. So what's your goal with the collective?
Um honestly, we're working on, I got some production level type stuff. I don't want to get into it too much because I don't want to give up all my secrets, but right now we're kind of letting it just simmer. Instagram has crushed my interaction. I mean, it has just destroyed my engagement. So
Really?
right now,
What do you mean?
oh yeah, dude, a couple of my posts for Kong Valley had done like 69 likes or something like that, and I mean, it's unreal. I mean, we used to have, I don't know, 25 comments and
Oh,
250,
okay.
300 likes.
You're talking about crushed in a good way. I was thinking like,
No engagement. It's crushed it, like destroyed it, taken it away, like stuff like that. So we have well, obviously, because you've seen the website. So we got the website going for us, and we're kind of starting to develop some more stuff on that, some more of what we use and why. And we have we got some film stuff we're working on. One thing that we're going to do, well, one thing I will tell you that we're getting ready to work on is a series called Winged Passion.
oh,
And
nice.
that, yeah. And so this year that will be photography, and I'm happily coaching one of my guys, Tyler Walker. He's a big duck hunter out in Michigan, I believe is where he's out of. And he's started to fall in love with using his camera and documenting it. So getting him going on from a photography aspect, he's capturing the grit and the grind of his duck hunts. And we're going to call it Winged Passion, be essentially the faces of hunting for ducks. So
That's
it's one
awesome.
thing that we're going to start working on, move that into a film series for the next year. But this year we're going to get him going.
Yeah, I want to get more into waterfowl. That's
Yeah,
something that I haven't really concentrated a whole lot on, but it's a lot of
never
fun.
done it. But after listening to these guys, I'm like, I got to try it,
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's a lot of fun. It's just I've always been drawn to bugling bulls and stuff like that, but I've got a buddy that makes custom. He's with Blindsided Calls, but he uh, he actually hand carves duck calls, and he does like national competitions and stuff like that, duck calling competitions and everything. But he goes all over North America hunting like waterfowl, and that's like his huge passion. And he's like showing me these pictures and stuff like that, and I'm like, dude, that looks like so much fucking fun, you
Yeah,
know? And you know, that's one thing that I'll probably get into. I'm gonna try and get into it this year. I don't know if I'm gonna make it this year, but he's wanting to bring me out. But another thing is falconry. It's like way off topic, but well, not off topic, but off base, I guess. But so we had a hawk that scooped up one of our chickens the other day, and so I was talking to a guy that does falconry or whatever, and he was offering to come over and trap this hawk. And he went off about falconry. Man, that looks like so much freaking fun. Like they catch pheasants with falcons and hawks and stuff like that, rabbits, squirrels, all that. Man, that looks like so much fun. I think I might try that too. But we were
right.
talking about the wing passion thing, so that made me think of that.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. I mean, that's just one of many ideas. I mean, ultimately, we're just going to continue to provide a place to come with questions and build a community and a collective of like-minded people sharing that passion and diving into teaching people that there's 364 days before the killer catch. You know what I mean? So documenting everything that goes into it, showing the realness of what it is to be an outdoorsman. You know what I mean? Or just to be like some of my ladies, they're my women ambassadors, are just absolute rock stars. They're adventurers. They're killing it in the bayou. They're sheep guides. They're out in eastern Washington, just wrecking house. I mean, these guys wreck the boys, and so showing their vision and their commonalities with ours, and like just trying to promote positive, real messages. That's what we're doing. I mean, and that's going to develop to more in the future. But right now, I think it's really, really important to just to continue to build that platform of just something that you can hang your hat on, integrity based, if you will. So that's where we're at. We're just kind of letting it simmer, and I'm kind of watching some of my team and watching them develop, getting ready to roll into hunting season right now, and well, for me, next Saturday. So
Are you only hunting in Oregon, or?
Yeah, this year I am. Yeah, might do something in the spring. Might do spring bear in Wyoming next year with a buddy. Might do a spring pig hunt in California with a buddy. Might do an outad hunt. I got a couple different things.
Yeah, I'm doing an aoudad hunt later this year, or probably beginning of next year, down in New Mexico.
Oh, nice. Did you draw that tag?
No, it's over the counter.
Is it?
Yeah, man. Certain areas in New Mexico are over the counter. Now, I'm gonna tell you, you walk your ass off and never see anything if you don't do your research. And it's really hard to do your research on aoudad.
Yeah.
There's, for some reason, it seems like one of the most commercialized hunts that I think I've ever seen. Like, it's all ranches and all that kind of stuff. Like, you almost find nothing for public aoudad. And if you call like the New Mexico Fish and Game, it's worthless.
Oh yeah.
Oh, dude, I walked my ass off. 4 days and 56 miles, and which is a shit ton considering there's no water anywhere. I found water 2 times and they were puddles. And so you're carrying all of your water with you. And I had this mentality, get back in there and all that kind of stuff. Man, you will walk your ass off. So definitely, if you're going to do an over-the-counter hunt like that in New Mexico, you better do your damn research. I saw everything except aoudad. Like, I'm serious. I had a bull, like a bull elk, 15 yards away. I could have arrowed several antelope and mule deer, and I mean, I had a fox, coyotes within arrow range, but the only aoudad that I did see were on private property. And yeah, and I mean, I was in some damn rough country and stuff, like sheep country. You would think they would be, and that the fishing game was like, oh yeah, they're there. Shit, I didn't see them. But yeah, I do your research, man. It's I think 300 and something bucks for the tag, but I was sponsoring a couple veterans out on a hunt, and Texas screwed me over. Well, I screwed myself over, but the whole public land situation in Texas messed us up. And so we were like, well, we'll just jump across the border to New Mexico, and because we're down at Fort Bliss, the Fort Bliss area. We're like, well, we'll just jump across the border to New Mexico, and we'll hunt up there. So went into the Walmart and everything, bought some over-the-counter tags, and called around to game wardens and all that kind of stuff, and went with that. But yeah, you'll. It was cool.
Yeah.
It was work for,
Oh, absolutely.
but yeah. So yeah, I'm actually looking at my Wyoming antelope tags right now. Got those on my desk. But
Lucky you.
uh,
I'll get out of state one of these years. For now, I mean, I got elk right here, and with the limited time I'm gonna have, that just makes the most sense. So
well, if you ever want to come over to Montana, you got an open invitation.
yeah, I'm absolutely gonna have to take you up on that. I think that's all draw for non-resident, ain't it?
Yeah, it's all draw for non-resident, which kind of sucks as a non-resident because it's also the most fucking expensive, I think, out of any state. But um, but yeah, it's good hunting. It really is.
Yeah, I mean, dude, likewise, if you want to come to Oregon sometime, let us know. We'll get you out here.
Oh, dude, yeah. Again, I'll have to take you up on that. I've always wanted to kill a Rosie.
So
Um,
speaking of Rosies, Kevin messaged me because I said, hey, I'm sitting down with these guys. You want to record any questions? He's saying differences between the Rockies and Rosies are harder. Which one's harder to hunt? Here, let me pull it up. He said, this is for you, Kevin Osborne. Which is more difficult, Roosevelt's or Rockies?
I would say location.
Yeah, I'll let you take that. What's your opinion on that?
Uh, I would say either one is the same. The I think the thing that makes either one harder is just the location that they're in. Like if you go out east, like Tennessee and stuff like that, where it's really loud and you're stepping on rocks or not rocks, but leaves and all that kind of stuff all the time. It's going to be harder to hunt them if it's real thick and all that kind of stuff, thick and nasty. I think that's the thing that separates the Rosies from the Rockies is just the location that they're at. You know what I mean?
Right. I think so. Like Roosevelt, if you bump them, they're going to go a couple hundred yards and calm down and start sneaking and slow down, and you can work around them and come back. With Rocky, if you bump a Rocky, it's going to go miles. I mean, that's something you hear everybody say. It's the truth. I think you can severely underestimate the country that either or live in. I mean, the Roosevelt, the Roosevelt aren't in Grizz country. There's places that people are hunting Rockies are just wolf and grizzly ridden. I mean, that in itself presents a different challenge. You know what I mean? And they could be steep, high canyons, or they could be really deep, low jungle, mosquito-ridden, soaking wet rainforest hunt. I have yet to kill a Rocky. I haven't really tried. I've been on hunts with them. I see a lot more of them, but I don't hunt just the coastal range either. I hunt the Cascade Range and a thicket. So,
Well, Cascades, they've got Grizz there, don't they?
I mean, no, not that I've seen.
Huh.
A lot of lions.
Yeah, I've heard that. So,
A lot of lions. I've
real
seen
quick,
like
not to get
two or
off
three.
topic, but
Yeah.
what's your guys' lion situation? I heard that they're really cracking down on hunting with dogs and stuff.
Oregon, you can't. So we haven't been able to for a while. It's all, if you see it, shoot it. I mean, you get 2 tags a year you can buy. right? And it's all quota based. So I don't know. I think the quota last year was like 100 cats or 180 cats for my area, and it closed in like November. I want to say I got a message saying that the quota was met, which I think is horseshit. But I don't know. I see. I mean, knock on wood, maybe this is the year I don't. But I mean, I've seen two a year the last 3 years at minimum, 2 or 3 a year while I'm hunting in some of
Wow.
the places I hunt. So, I mean, it's just
That's got to
they're
mean
there.
that you guys have a lot because you almost never see them in Montana. But I mean, it's not that they're not there. They're there, but they're so elusive.
Yeah, they are. There's just little things, nuances that you start to pick up with the more you're around them. So I'm not gonna say like I bet you I've walked by more than I've seen. I've been right next to them and not seen them. I mean, I'm not some cat whisperer. I just catch it and do a double take, or you hear it and something ain't sound right type thing, sixth sense shit. I mean, I spend a lot of time in areas where there's a lot of predators and fortunate enough sometimes to get to see them.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm gonna be hunting the bear tooth this year. In It's in the greater Yellowstone ecosystem.
Right.
So obviously, there's a fuck ton of grizzlies, and
Yeah, that's interesting.
yeah, just so I had a camera guy that was going to go with me, and so I wasn't going to be completely by myself for the first week, because I'm spending 2 weeks out there. One of my buddies is going to fly up, and uh, actually, he was the one that I had talked about in my book, and so he's going to fly up like the second week that I'm out there. So I'll pick him up and we'll go back out. But so since my camera guy had bailed on me, I'm gonna be in that thick grizzly country by myself, which I'm not super crazy about. But yes, it is what it is. But
I mean, I'm gonna say, in my opinion, how do we say this?
I'm an
Bear
idiot.
spray and just do. I don't know. Luke's not afraid of them. He says they're bears. If they want you, they're gonna get you. Can't spend your life worried about it. I'm not so calm, but I mean, just keep your wits about you.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, I've been around them and stuff like that. I've got some great pictures of them. But it's just it's unnerving in that area because they do not respect humans. So they're I don't know. It's like humans are not they're not viewed as a predator for them. So they're a little more willing to push you out.
Right.
That's the thing that kind of bugs me a little bit about it. The whole because they've demonized the hunting of the animals and stuff like that kind of bugs me. But anyway, well, man, so do you have any closing thoughts? Anything coming up that you want to get out there?
Yeah, I just want to wish everybody a safe and efficient season. I hope everybody gets out there and just grinds it out. I want to encourage everybody to, you know, pick up trash when you see it. Just do the right thing. Don't be dirt bags. I mean, really, I just want to make myself available if anybody ever has any questions or they ever need anything or they just want somebody to talk to or need a friend or whatever. I mean, that's what we're here for. Reach out to Kong Valley or reach out to myself. And, hey, man, we're just average people just grinding out, doing our own things. So I don't know, man. I just want to leave you with, just for you especially too, please reach out if I can help and
Oh,
how to
absolutely.
support you. I mean, and that goes for everybody. I will tell you that I'm part of Mountain Goat Media, so we do logos and ad graphics and photography and stuff like that as well. So if anybody's looking for some kind of digital media stuff, please reach out to us on there also. So
Awesome. Awesome, man. Well, I really appreciate you coming on and, sharing your insight with Kong Valley and just making yourself available. That's great, man. A lot of people really need that. So thanks for coming on the podcast, man.
Yeah, and I appreciate you having me on, man. You have to let me know how your season goes.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely let you know, man.
We'll trade a hunt in the future.
Absolutely. Sounds good, man.
All right, dude.
All right.